From the News Channel 5 Network, this is SportsLine.
Welcome into SportsLine on News Channel 5 Plus. I'm Jonathan Hutton, in for Steve Lehman, who is feeling better. I checked in with him earlier today. Hopes to get back to News Channel 5 very soon. Have a nice show for you coming up. We're going to react to the weekend across the NFL and talk some Titans football this hour. And we'll hear from Ken Whisenhunt. We'll be recapping the 35-33 loss to the Indianapolis Colts yesterday at Nissan Stadium. And later this hour, Titans Radio's executive producer and game day host Rhett Bryan will be in studio with me. But earlier today, head coach Ken Whisenhunt went back and looked at the loss to the Indianapolis Colts and began to look forward to the bye week and what's to come over the next 13-week stretch for this Tennessee team. Here's Whisenhunt earlier.
Okay, what do you got for me today? I'm sure you have questions.
Well, as you looked at the two-point conversion, did the Colts just make a play there, or did you have a couple of breakdowns, would you say?
They made a play. That's a fair thing to say. We felt comfortable with the play. We had a good play called the one before, and they grabbed our guy because he was wide open. So that moved it to the one, and we felt like that was a play that we'd had success with earlier in the game, and we felt good about it. And they made a play.
Johnson okay? Or
Yeah, he seems to be. I think he's going to be all right.
Seemed to be a couple of players seemed to say that maybe they had a good idea that the play was coming just because of the formation. I guess my question is, does it matter? Even if they did know what's going on, does that matter if it's 1 yard to go? Is it basically?
I don't think so. We had a fourth down in the game earlier, and we had a play that they probably knew where it was coming, and we made that. We had a touchdown right before that, So, I mean, a lot of times they know the plays, or at least they say they do, because they're trying to call them out. So it really comes down to execution, and we didn't execute that well enough, but you have to give them credit. They made a play.
You talked yesterday about wanting to establish that identity. How far along are you think, in terms of, are you making progress in that regard?
Well, we had a fourth down in the third, what was it, the third quarter, the fourth quarter? I don't remember which quarter it was, down there in the tight area, and we went for it and we made it. So, that does go a ways towards establishing what we want to do. We're a more physical football team. We're a better running football team than we were a year ago. And, there's a lot of good things that we're doing. It's just unfortunate that we didn't finish the game the way we wanted to yesterday.
Did you go back to two-point play? It was a split second there where Johnson got stuffed and Marcus was there asking for the ball. You wanted to flip it.
At that point, yeah. I mean, what do you have to lose? Yeah. At that point, I asked Justin afterwards. I said, "Did you think about that?" And he said, "Yeah, he saw him, but he thought there was somebody on him, and he thought he could get in." So, at that point, yeah, probably.
What would you like to have seen Zach do on the interception return where he runs up Morgan there? How much do you need a guy to finish that to not leave you in position to have to punch it in on offense?
Well, you'd like to see him do anything other than run into Derek's back, who was doing actually a good job blocking. But, who knows if he'd gone outside or inside if he'd have scored. To me, that really doesn't matter. One of the things that we've been very good at is scoring touchdowns off turnovers. I think I've said that a couple of times through the preseason and even early in the season. So when we get it there, our expectation is to score a touchdown. And unfortunately, we didn't do that. We've been very productive in the red zone this year, but in that case, we didn't.
It seemed like your pass rush in the fourth quarter maybe change into a different mode against the Luck. He was under pressure frequently through three quarters. In the fourth quarter, not nearly as much. Was that a philosophical change at that point, and did that come back to bite you considering what he did with it?
Well, yeah, that's a good question, Paul. I think obviously we were having some success getting to him, and we were close at times in that series. But obviously I think it was around 12 minutes left in the fourth quarter and up 2 scores there at the 2-yard line. The one thing you want to make him do is use a lot of clock to move it down the field. And we felt like we accomplished that. We had him in 3rd and 20. at the 40-yard line or wherever that was exactly. And, there were 7 minutes at that point. So we had done what we needed to do as a defense. We just didn't execute on the third down play. So, you run the situation as it was. If you're going to put yourself in some man coverage, then you're going to expose yourself potentially to a big play or a quick score. Obviously that 3rd and 20 wasn't good enough because they did score, but up until that point, we had accomplished that. And had we done what we had done and gotten off the field, forced them to punt, maybe that ends the game right there.
On the 3rd and 20, is attesting that you think he had help deep on that play? Or
He does have help. He does have help on that play deep. But he's got to play it better too. It was a combination. It was a multiple fail there, which is obviously hurts.
He was there because Parrish was out with cramps. Is one of 3 guys that left with cramps. Colts didn't seem to have those issues. I know it's kind of out of your control, but hard to explain.
Yeah, we hydrate. We work on that. We hadn't had that issue in camp. We were down in numbers a little bit, and some guys were having to do extra jobs. Maybe that contributed to it.
Yeah, probably simplistic, but on those 3rd and 20s, isn't it kind of the one thing that the corners are taught is don't get beat deep in those kind of situations?
Would you say that's kind of simplistic? Well, after the fact, yeah. But the thing is, we had guys there in both instances. We just didn't knock the ball away. So Mark Weston turns around, he knocks it away, and Bleedy puts his hand up, he knocks it away. So, Hilton made a good play on the first one on Bleedy, but you obviously don't want those to happen.
The 2 big plays in Cleveland and the one with Huff here seem like the corner in question didn't do well to track the ball. How are your corners doing at tracking the ball, being aware when it's arriving and making plays on it compared to?
Well, I think there's 3 plays that you're talking about. On the first one in Cleveland, we were there. He just missed the ball. That happens in the league.
You said he turned the wrong way. So
yeah. In the second one, that was a broken play, and the guy went across the field. So, you see that happen quite a lot in the league. If you want to put the Pittsburgh Steelers tape on, you see that happen multiple times in a game. So that happens. And the one yesterday, a little bit of the same thing. Just didn't locate the ball and make a play on it. And the receiver jumped back and did make a play. And I think if you watched the game last night against the Denver and Detroit, there was 2 or 3 plays where the receivers, the guy was right there and the receivers made the catch. So it does happen in the league. Obviously we don't want it to happen, and we work to try to keep that from happening, but it did.
When you get past the sort of frustration or loss, can you look at some of those offensive numbers and see some promising signs out of what you're seeing out of the offense this year compared to last?
Yeah, well, let's be real. It's not even compared to last year offensively. We're doing a lot of things better. It's hard right now. It's tough. That was a game that we had done a lot of good things. We'd come from 14 down and controlled the game and taken a 13-point lead against a good football team. And to lose it hurts. But, I think that there are a lot of positive signs on our offensive things that we're doing. And we have to build off of that. Listen, we can't turn the ball over. We got to correct some mistakes. We got to do a better job of protecting the quarterback. But I know we had a number of plays yesterday that were big chunks, a lot more than what you see from a normal NFL game, and that's, there's a lot of good signs. We're running the ball better than we'd run it before, so we're a good red zone team. We're scoring more points, and we probably got more points now than we had maybe the whole year last year. So, I wish that there was a lot of positive things. I wish we would have won the game yesterday, so you could talk about those. But right now, I just want to continue to get better and win a game.
Are you looking for a back? I know you've gone with the hot hand. Are you looking for a guy to take over and try to work more than the rest of the guys, or is it still going to be a week-to-week, game-by-game situation? I guess that Antonio would do enough yesterday in that same question to earn more opportunities.
Well, I mean, what's wrong with what we've been doing in the first 3 weeks running the football? We've been effective. Every week we have different packages, and I can't tell you which package is going to have success. It depends. And just like yesterday, Bishop Sankey had a number of plays. In fact, he was very effective on a couple of screen passes for us. But his plays, we didn't have a good matchup, we felt, in the packages that he was in there for, especially running the football. But it was a little bit more that way with Antonio in there. So he took advantage of it. I don't know what it's going to be next week or the next game that we play. That's going to go from week to week.
You mentioned the screen passes, but you would know, but traditionally this has not been a very good screen team at all. And we were very effective with them yesterday. I guess what sort of makes a good screen team, you think?
Ones that work, I guess. We haven't been a great screen team here. In last year, certainly. We had a couple, but we've been working on it. We worked on it through camp, and we're going to continue to work on that because in those situations, it can really help us. And I think we got a better feel for it. It's kind of come together a little bit for us the last couple of weeks, and hopefully that'll continue.
So what sorts of things are you doing better at it right now than last year, would you say?
How we're passing them off, how we're getting the linemen out in front of them. I think we're doing a better job of identification of who they're going to block and where they're going to block them down the field, and then where we're going to hit the screen, whether it's an alley screen, whether it's an outside screen. We're tying in some of those to what we're doing package-wise with certain guys, so you're trying to disguise it. For instance, yesterday, one of the plays we've had success with is motioning Dexter out of the backfield and getting him down the field. So we did that and then ran a screen off of that with thinking that they would think pass and cover downfield to try to get Dexter. So, those kind of things all tie in together.
What would be your assessment of the pass protection yesterday? Obviously better than it was at Cleveland, but still gave up 3 sacks.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of them was we should have thrown the ball away, so it would have been to 2. But it was better. We got beat a couple of times individually, and that happens. We knew that they were going to try to pressure us and rush us to try to test that. But we'll continue to work and hopefully shore that up.
Suck up seemed like a touchback machine. How much does that change things for you, knowing that nothing's coming out of the end zone? And why so good, or how so good?
I don't know. I wish I could tell you. He had a good day yesterday kicking off. And we've been a pretty good kickoff coverage unit for the most part, but this certainly helps. I think it's always good when you're going to get him at the 20. So I give him credit. He's worked hard and did a nice job yesterday.
As we talk Titans this hour on News Channel 5+, this is SportsLine, and we want your reaction coming up. Our phone lines will be open through the rest of the hour at 615-737-7767, 615-737-7767. As when we come back, our special guest in studio this evening, the executive producer and game day host from the Titans Radio Network, Rhett Bryan, joins me next here on SportsLine. Stay tuned.